everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have just finished reading another book titled An Offer from a Gentleman, written by Julia Quinn. It's part of the Bridgerton series, and I'll be reviewing it for today's book review video. So let's get started. This book is book number 3 in the Bridgerton series. Now let me introduce the main characters. It's Benedict Bridgerton and Miss Sophie Beckett. Benedict is the second child and second son to the late Viscount and Dowager Viscountess of Bridgerton. And Sophie is, well, an illegitimate child of the Earl of Penwood and a maid, which the Earl took responsibility of once the maid died. The Earl then remarries a lady named Araminta, who has her own daughters, Posy and Rosamond. After the Earl dies, Sophie then becomes a slave for Araminta, as she doesn't really like will be an understatement. She hates. Araminta hates Sophie. It's a little of Cinderella at the start, as Sophie will be pressing gowns, polishing shoes, and running behind Rosamond and Posy. These girls aren't really mean to her, but I bet you get the picture of a slave to her master's children. So Araminta will be attending a masquerade ball hosted by Lady Bridgerton, and Sophie will attend it quietly with the help of the servants who take pity on her. There, she will meet the one and only Benedict Bridgerton, but since it's a masquerade, everyone they'll be wearing the masquerade masks, the black color one. At midnight, she will run away, and Benedict will care for the woman whom he only met once and does not know anything else. The only thing he knows is that he feels some sort of magical bliss when she's around, and he has been searching high and low for her ever since. He will then spot Sophie, who is almost being raped at an event at one of his friends' homes, and he saves her from it, and to repay, she will nurse him back to health. From there, an invitation to work for the Bridgertons, to marry him, even almost being a mistress, and almost being shipped off to Australia for theft. Well, Sophie's life changes forever. I liked how Julia Quinn brought illegitimacy and the ton closer together, because remember, the scene is in the 1800s, the Regency era. I loved how Sophie came clean to Benedict about herself, but I despised his reaction towards it. But I understood why. He really liked the woman. Benedict was born into a very wealthy family, and a very influential one, so he had no problems in getting what he wanted and needed. However, Sophie was born into an earl's life as illegitimate, and her mother died quite early on. So even though she knew French, arithmetics, and she knew Latin, something that Ton knew, she knew her place as an illegitimate child and worked her way up, even if it meant being her stepmom's slave. I would give this book a 9 out of 10. I really like the way the female character, Sophie Beckett, was introduced, because I have never read a book where one of the characters' legitimacy was unknown, and that got me thinking that she would never marry into any influential families of the time like the Bridgertons. The book has slight PG-18, so watch out for that. I am currently reading the 4th book, Romancing Mr. Bridgerton, which is Colin's story, and I really hope I can finally unmask who is Lady Whistledown, because when I read the 3rd one, An Offer from a Gentleman, I still could not unmask her, and not knowing her identity gets me every time. And that brings me to the end of my book review. So thank you all for listening, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. That's all for it now. Bye!